The story for me starts really on 9/11. We were in shock. We were watching the events, my wife and I, and a professor was saying that this is not representative of Islam as a whole, that it's really a religion of peace. And I remember having a visceral reaction to that, just feeling very angry, saying that's just not true. That's just not true.
I'm not saying that I speak for 1.6 billion Muslims, but the fact is that the vast majority of Muslims are peaceful. My idea is that at least people should have the correct information and idea about Islam. So they are not running with misinformation about what Muslims believe or what Muslims think.
When people start speaking in ever more hateful, ever more fearful ways about vulnerable religious minorities, those communities only get more and more vulnerable. And those communities are only more and more targeted. And Muslims in America are a target. Let's not pretend otherwise. They are not the threat, they are the threatened. My job within the Jewish community is to testify, basically, that I know these people. And I can tell you that they are a part of us.
If you're going to call Jesus Lord of your life, then we have to seriously consider the tone of our voice, the words we're sharing, the things that we are perpetuating as it comes to our interaction with Muslims. Because I think when you really read the New Testament and you ask yourself, what would Jesus say? What would Jesus do? It is incongruent with most of the dialogue and the words and the actions that I see represented by the Christian majority.
I really believe that it is just right to stand up and say that what is happening to Muslim Americans is evil, and I believe we have to call out evil when we see it. But it's also self-serving in the sense that I also believe that the best way to fight anti-Semitism in the Muslim community is to show up at moments like these as allies.
When a national survey reveals that 20-some% of Americans believe that ISIS is a true representation of what happens when Muslims are in charge of a country, and almost 50% of evangelicals believe that. That tells me that we are feeding hatred, we are feeding untruths.
When someone starts with political movements that are about the otherization of a group, whether it's Jews or not, Jews, we're so attuned to that because so often that has been what's happened to us. And it's really, it's the core commandment of the Jewish people. More than any other commandment in the Torah, we're told, you shall not oppress the orphan, the widow, or the stranger, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. If our rituals don't cause us to be better people, then we're doing the rituals wrong.
The whole idea of Islamic kindness and mercy, there is a tradition of the Prophet, peace be upon him, which says that be merciful to those who are on this earth, and the one who is in the heavens will be merciful with you. And it does not say to be merciful only to the believers, but be merciful to the creation of God.
The message of the Jewish people is what is hateful to you, do not do to the other. The rest of it, everything else, from keeping kosher to observing the Sabbath, is just commentary on that.
Harassment is ongoing. It's common that a Muslim kid is referred to as a terrorist. The T word for a Muslim these days is the new N word. I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to say.
I just get so frustrated when I see Christian people that I don't think I know the tone of their voice. The things they post, the things they say are completely counterproductive and I believe incongruent with the way of Christ.
I'm really sick of people asking Camille to denounce ISIS. I'm just really sick of it. Because you know what? Camille's mosque has denounced ISIS over and over and over and over again, and there are 35,000 people in ISIS and 1.6 billion Muslims?
We continue to believe narratives that are not true. And then when we come across a story of a Muslim who does good or something, we tend to write that off as, well, that's the exception, not the norm. I was talking to a Christian that does work with Muslims, and he said, never one time have I had a person that says you're wrong about Muslims that has a Muslim friend or even knows a Muslim.
I understand history is basically just moving in one of two directions. Either we are moving in a direction of including more and more people in the project of us, or we are moving in a direction of including more and more people in the project of them.
All three of us genuinely want to live at peace with people that are different than us.
My friendship with Jim Powell, an evangelical pastor, and with Rabbi Daniel Bogart is not based on agreement. It is based on we can differ on some of our most fundamental beliefs. And at the same time, we can be tolerant with one another, accept one another, and respect our differences.
When I say Camille is my friend, when I say Jim is my friend, I mean it. It's not a professional friendship, it's a real friendship. And so all of the work that we're doing, I believe, is about that. It's about just saying that the friend of my friend is my friend, or should be my friend.